Good day, and welcome to our look at African nations and their complex relationship with their names. Names hold a deep significance, far beyond mere labels. They are carriers of history, echoing with stories of the past and hopes for the future. They shape our understanding of ourselves and the world around us. Today we start a journey across the African continent, a continent where the echoes of a colonial past still linger through time. We will look into the fascinating history of African countries that chose to break free from their colonial names, reclaiming their stories after centuries of imposed identities. We will also look into the fascinating history of African countries that chose to retain their colonial names and explore why they did so. The 19th century marked a period of profound change for Africa, as European powers descended upon the continent, driven by an insatiable thirst for resources and dominion. The scramble for Africa ensued, carving up the continent into colonies, disregarding existing boundaries and cultural identities. Traditional systems of governance were dismantled, replaced with colonial administrations that imposed their languages, customs, and, crucially, their names.
The impact of this colonial legacy is deeply woven into the fabric of African societies, and nowhere is this more evident than in the names they bear. For many nations, independence brought forth a profound question. Should they retain the names bestowed upon them during colonial rule, names often tied to geographical features, colonial figures, or even derogatory labels?
The answers were as diverse as the continent itself. Some countries saw their newly acquired independence as an opportunity to shed the vestiges of colonialism, reclaiming their pre-colonial identities through the adoption of new names. These name changes were not merely symbolic acts, they were powerful statements of self-determination, a rejection of imposed identities, and a celebration of their rich cultural heritage. Others chose to retain their colonial names, often for reasons rooted in practicality, historical continuity, or even a sense of national unity forged during the struggle for independence. Their stories offer a nuanced perspective on the complexities of decolonization, where the past and present intertwine in intricate ways. Join us as we journey into the heart of this debate, exploring the motivations, challenges, and triumphs of African nations as they discover the complexities of the relationship between their names and their identities. Our journey begins on the shores of West Africa, in a land once coveted for its abundant gold reserves, Ghana. Known as the Gold Coast during British colonial rule, Ghana's name was inextricably linked to its economic exploitation. Upon gaining independence in 1957, under the visionary leadership of Kwame Nkrumah, Ghana chose to reclaim its heritage.
The name Ghana resonated deeply with the nation's history. It evoked the memory of the ancient Ghana Empire, a powerful kingdom that flourished in West Africa.
The adoption of the name Ghana was a deliberate act of decolonization, a symbolic break from colonial rule. It signified a return to African roots and a bold statement of self-determination. Our journey takes us south to Zimbabwe, a nation that endured a long struggle for independence. Under British colonial rule, the country was known as Rhodesia, named after Cecil Rhodes, a British imperialist and mining magnate.
The name Rhodesia was deeply unpopular amongst the indigenous population, representing a period of oppression and racial segregation.
When Zimbabwe achieved independence in 1980, the name Rhodesia was discarded. The new name, Zimbabwe, held deep historical and cultural significance. It derived from Great Zimbabwe, the impressive ruins of an ancient city built by the Shona people.
The ruins of Great Zimbabwe became a powerful symbol of national pride. The name change marked a break from the colonial past and a commitment to unity, equality, and self-determination.
Our next stop takes us to West Africa, to a nation formerly known as Upper Volta. Under French colonial rule, Upper Volta served primarily as a source of raw materials and cheap labor.
In 1960, Upper Volta gained independence. In 1984, under Thomas Sankara, Upper Volta became Burkina Faso. Translated as Land of the Upright People, Burkina Faso symbolized national pride and self-reliance.
Our journey continues southward to the East African nation of Tanzania, a country formed through the union of Tanganyika and Zanzibar. Tanganyika, a former British colony, and Zanzibar, a former sultanate under British protection, merged in 1964, creating a unique nation with a diverse cultural heritage. The name Tanzania itself is a portmanteau, combining elements of Tanganyika and Zanzibar. This linguistic fusion reflected the desire to create a unified national identity that transcended the divisions of the colonial past. The choice of Swahili, a widely spoken Bantu language, as the official language further cemented this commitment to unity and cultural inclusivity. The adoption of Swahili as the national language was a significant step towards decolonization, promoting a sense of shared identity and facilitating communication across different ethnic groups. Tanzania's journey exemplifies the power of language and cultural integration in forging a new national narrative in the wake of colonialism. Section 5. Sri Lanka, shedding the shadow of Serendip. Colonialism's echoes reverberate globally. Across the Indian Ocean lies Sri Lanka, steeped in history and culture.
Known to Arab traders as Serendip, shrouded in mystique, under British rule, it was renamed Ceylon, stripping its identity.
Ceylon became synonymous with tea plantations and colonial exploitation. In 1972, Sri Lanka reclaimed its narrative, shedding Ceylon. The name change was a powerful assertion of national identity.
Sri Lanka's journey resonates with decolonization and cultural identity. It reminds us that defining one's narrative transcends boundaries.
Section 6. The enduring power of names. As we've journeyed across the African continent and beyond, we've witnessed the profound impact of names in shaping national identity.
The act of renaming, of choosing to shed a colonial past and embrace a name that reflects one's own history and aspirations, is a powerful statement of self-determination.
The stories of Ghana, Zimbabwe, Burkina Faso, Tanzania, and Sri Lanka demonstrate the importance of reclaiming narratives, of writing one's own history free from the distortions of colonial perspectives. They remind us that names are not mere labels. They are vessels of identity, carrying the weight of history, culture, and the aspirations of a people.
Join us in Part 3, Act 2, as we delve into the stories of African nations that chose to retain their colonial names after independence, exploring the complex web of political, social, and economic factors that shaped their decisions.
Section 1. The weight of familiarity, navigating the post-colonial landscape. As we delve further into the intricate relationship between African nations and their names, we encounter a different set of stories. Stories of countries that chose to retain their colonial names after independence.
This decision, often met with mixed reactions, reflects the complexities of decolonization, where the desire for a clean break from the past is tempered by practical considerations, historical continuity, and the weight of familiarity.
For many of these nations, independence was not a singular event, but a process, a gradual transition from colonial rule to self-governance. The name they carried, though intricately linked to a period of subjugation, had also become intertwined with their evolving national identity. It represented a shared history, albeit a complex one, and a sense of continuity amidst profound change.
Section 2. Nigeria, a giant grappling with its past.
Our first stop takes us to West Africa, to the most populous nation on the continent, Nigeria. Named after the Niger River, which flows through its heartland, Nigeria's colonial name reflects the geographical determinism that often characterized European perspectives. Yet, despite its colonial origins, the name Nigeria has endured, becoming deeply ingrained in the country's national consciousness.
Several factors contributed to Nigeria's decision to retain its colonial name. The sheer size and diversity of the nation, home to over 250 ethnic groups, presented a significant challenge in forging a unified national identity. The name Nigeria, though lacking in indigenous roots, provided a sense of overarching unity, encompassing the multitude of cultures and languages within its borders.
Furthermore, Nigeria's post-independence leaders, grappling with the immense task of nation-building, opted for pragmatism over symbolic gestures. The name Nigeria was already internationally recognized, and changing it would have created logistical complexities and potentially hampered the country's efforts to establish itself on the global stage.
Section 3. Kenya balancing tradition and transformation.
Our journey takes us eastward to Kenya, a nation renowned for its stunning landscapes and rich wildlife. Kenya's leaders embarked on Africanization, reclaiming cultural heritage while navigating modernity.
Kenya adopted Swahili alongside English to promote cultural unity. Retaining a colonial name doesn't equate to embracing a colonial legacy.
Kenya's story highlights the balance between tradition and change.
Section 4. Cameroon, a tapestry of identities woven under one name.
Our exploration takes us to Central Africa, to the nation of Cameroon. Colonized by both Germany and France, Cameroon inherited a legacy of linguistic and cultural diversity. Its colonial name, derived from the Portuguese Rio dos Cameros, River of Prawns, reflects the early European encounters with the region's abundant coastal fauna.
Cameroon's decision to retain its colonial name was influenced by its unique history and the desire to maintain a sense of unity amidst diversity. The name Cameroon, though lacking in indigenous roots, had become a unifying symbol encompassing the country's multiple cultural and linguistic groups.
Furthermore, Cameroon's post-independence leaders recognized the practical challenges of renaming a country with such a complex colonial past. Changing the name would have required navigating linguistic sensitivities and potentially exacerbated existing divisions. Instead, they focused on promoting bilingualism, French and English, and fostering a sense of national identity that transcended linguistic and cultural differences.
The stories of Nigeria, Kenya, and Cameroon, though diverse in their specific contexts, highlight the enduring legacy of colonialism and its impact on the shaping of national identities. The decision to retain a colonial name, often a pragmatic one, does not erase the historical realities of subjugation, exploitation, and cultural disruption.
The echoes of colonialism continue to resonate in these nations, manifesting in linguistic patterns, educational systems, and power structures. The challenge for these countries lies in acknowledging this legacy, addressing its lingering effects, and forging a path towards genuine decolonization that extends beyond symbolism. As our journey through the complexities of African names and identities draws to a close, we are left with a profound understanding of the power of names in shaping our perceptions of ourselves and the world around us. The decision to change or retain a colonial name is but one chapter in the ongoing quest for identity, a journey fraught with challenges and triumphs.
For some nations, the act of renaming has been a powerful symbol of liberation, a reclaiming of their narrative and a celebration of their cultural heritage. For others, retaining a colonial name has been a pragmatic choice, a means of maintaining stability and unity amidst diversity. Ultimately, the true measure of decolonization lies not solely in a name, but in a nation's ability to chart its own course, embrace its cultural heritage, and forge a future free from the shackles of its past.
As our exploration of African nations and their intricate relationship with their names concludes, we are left with a profound appreciation for the continent's diverse paths towards self-determination. From the resounding declarations of independence embodied in name changes to the pragmatic embrace of existing identities. Each nation's story offers a unique perspective on the complexities of decolonization and the ongoing quest for identity in a rapidly changing world.
The African continent stands as a testament to the resilience of the human spirit, its people having navigated centuries of external pressures, from colonial rule to the challenges of globalization, while striving to preserve their cultural heritage and shape their own destinies. The choices they've made, reflected in their names, their languages, and their systems of governance, are a testament to their agency and their determination to forge a future on their own terms. For many African nations, the act of reclaiming their pre-colonial names has been a powerful symbol of liberation, a rejection of imposed identities, and a celebration of their rich cultural heritage.
The resonance of these name changes extends far beyond mere semantics. They represent a fundamental shift in perspective, a reclaiming of the narrative from the distortions of colonial perspectives.
The stories of Ghana, Zimbabwe, and Burkina Faso, among others, demonstrate the transformative power of self-definition.
By choosing names that reflect their own history, their own languages, and their own aspirations, these nations have asserted their right to determine their own destinies, free from the shackles of colonial legacies.
These name changes have served as a source of national pride, uniting citizens under a shared identity rooted in their own cultural heritage.
While some African nations chose to make a clean break from their colonial past through name changes, others opted to retain the names bestowed upon them during colonial rule.
This decision, often driven by a complex interplay of practical considerations, historical continuity, and the desire for national unity, reflects the enduring legacy of colonialism and its impact on the shaping of national identities.
The stories of Nigeria, Kenya, and Cameroon highlight the diverse paths nations have taken in navigating their post-colonial identities.
While retaining their colonial names, these countries have embarked on their own journeys of decolonization, promoting indigenous languages, reclaiming their cultural heritage, and challenging lingering colonial power structures.
Their experiences remind us that decolonization is not a one-size-fits-all process, but a multifaceted and ongoing journey shaped by each nation's unique historical and social context.
The question of whether to change or retain a colonial name has often been intertwined with broader issues of national pride and unity. For some nations, a new name has served as a rallying cry, uniting citizens under a shared identity and inspiring a sense of national pride. For others, the familiarity of an existing name, despite its colonial origins, has provided a sense of continuity and stability amidst the challenges of nation-building. The complexities of identity are perhaps most evident in nations with diverse ethnic, linguistic, and religious groups. In such cases, the choice of a name, a language, or national symbols becomes a delicate balancing act, seeking to foster unity and inclusivity while respecting the richness and diversity of cultural expressions. The ongoing quest for identity in these nations is a testament to the power of dialogue, compromise, and a shared vision for the future. As African nations continue to navigate the complexities of their post-colonial identities, they do so with a growing sense of confidence and self-assurance. The continent is brimming with potential, its youthful population eager to embrace the opportunities of the 21st century while preserving the richness of their cultural heritage.
The lessons learned from their experiences with colonialism, both the struggles and the triumphs, have shaped their outlook and strengthened their resolve to build a future free from the shackles of the past. African nations are increasingly taking their place on the global stage, not as passive recipients of aid or victims of circumstance, but as active shapers of their own destinies, contributing their unique perspectives and innovations to the global community.
Our journey through the intricate relationship between African nations and their names has highlighted the enduring significance of names in shaping our understanding of ourselves and the world around us. Names are not mere labels. They are vessels of history, culture, and identity, carrying the weight of the past and the aspirations of the future.
In an increasingly interconnected world where cultural exchange and globalization are reshaping our understanding of identity, the power of names to connect us to our roots, to inspire a sense of belonging, and to shape our perceptions of the other remains profound. The stories of African nations remind us of the importance of respecting the diversity of human experience, of listening to the narratives of those who have been marginalized, and of approaching the complexities of identity with sensitivity and open-mindedness. As we conclude our exploration, let us celebrate the indomitable spirit of Africa, a continent that has overcome immense challenges and emerged as a beacon of hope and resilience. The journey of self-discovery continues as African nations chart their own courses, embracing their cultural heritage and shaping a future filled with promise and possibility.
May their stories inspire us all to approach the complexities of identity with empathy and understanding, to recognize the power of names in shaping our perceptions, and to embrace the richness and diversity of human experience. The journey of rediscovering one's identity is an ongoing process, a testament to the enduring human spirit and our capacity for growth, transformation, and the pursuit of a more just and equitable world.
For more awareness stories like this, please like, share, and subscribe.